back to Veggie Vero's Kids Corner. I'm your host, Veronica Green, and today is a beautiful breezy day. I'm sitting here enjoying the breeze at the Delray Beach Children's Garden, and I have a lovely story I'm going to read to you. It is called Little Red Bird by Nick Bruel. Now this is a beautiful story. It is not really truly about birds. What it's really about is bravery. It's a story about having the courage to spread your wings in the big world, venture off into the unknown. Very good story. It's a little poem in the front. Little red bird spent her life in a cage. Then one fine day, the latch failed to engage. It looked scary out there. Should she leave? Should she dare? What happened next? Well, just turn the page. All right, so we're going to hear the story first, and then afterwards we're going to make a bird's nest as our craft project. Do you all know what a bird's nest looks like? Have you ever seen a bird's nest? What do they use to make their nests? Maybe some dried up leaves, maybe some little wood chips or hay, anything they can find outside, right? So gather up some materials from outside, anything you think a bird might use to make its nest, okay? And then also grab a paper plate, a pair of scissors and some glue, and a few crayons, okay? That's all you need. So while the grown-ups are gathering those supplies for you, I'll go ahead and start the story, and then we'll do the craft afterwards. Everybody ready? Get cozy. This is Little Red Bird. Have you ever heard of the little red bird who lived in a cage made of gold? She had all she could need. She had water and seed, and plenty to read, I've been told. Have you ever heard of the little red bird who looked out her cage one fine day? Through curtains of lace was a curious place that looked very far, far away. It had a sky that was blue, and green grass was there too, and some things that she thought were called trees. Though her cage was quite neat, it was also petite. She could not spread her wings with much ease. How could I roam from this place that's my home? She thought to herself by and by. I have all I need to eat, drink, and read, but I've always wanted to fly. Then in front of her eyes was quite a surprise. The door, it was open, it's true. It looked scary out there. Should she leave? Should she dare? I wonder, what would you do? Have you ever heard of the little red bird who hopped out of her cage without fear? She hopped onto a rug, and she said with a shrug, I could get used to it here. She hopped onto a book, then a desk, then a hook, then the chair that was painted blue. She hopped onto a bed, then a lamp that was red, to have a better view. I don't mean to complain, but I'm hopping in vain. The room is just too small for flight. I need a bit more, a place I could soar. A bigger room might be all right. through the curtains of lace, she saw that curious place that looked very far, far away. I could never go there, she said with despair, but it might be nice if someday. Then, in front of her eyes was quite a surprise. The window was open, it's true. It looked scary out there. Should she leave? Should she dare? I wonder, what would you do? Have you ever heard of the little red bird who stepped out for the very first time? With all of her might, she leaped into flight, chirping, "The world is mine!" The sky was so blue as she glided and flew through the air with the greatest of ease. She felt very proud as she soared through a cloud and back down to the ground on a breeze. Flying is the best. Who needs a nest or a cage or a dark little room? I'll fly here and there. I'll fly everywhere. Maybe I'll fly to the moon. But before flying to space, there's that curious place that I had seen before. So she quickened her pace and flew to that place that was far, far away no more. Have you ever heard of the little red bird who flew like a fiery spark? Straight towards the sun, she wouldn't be done until she came to what we call a park. Everything is so green. It's like nothing I've seen. What's over there? Those are flowers, I declare. There's so much to do, and the sky is so blue. They call them trees, I think. I'm just tickled pink. There's so much to discover. I may never recover. No cage to be kept in. What have I just stepped in? Wow, this little birdie is excited to be in the park. Think it's a lot better than a cage, huh? She flew all afternoon, singing a tune about a few of her favorite new things, until finally she lit on a branch she would sit and rest her little red wings. The sun was going down on the small, sleepy town that she saw in the tree from up high. Night would come soon along with the moon and the stars that danced in the sky. "But I don't feel quite right," she said at dawn's light. "Something is missing indeed. I want something to drink, and I'm hungry, I think, and I wish I had something to read." Then in front of her eyes was quite a surprise. she saw far, far away a house that was gray, and through the curtains of lace, a familiar place. Inside a room that was plain was her former domain, a thing made of gold, all shiny and cold. What she saw from up there was her cage. First she thought she would stay and live freely each day, here in the park beneath the sky. Then she thought she'd go back where there's nothing she lacked, although she would never be able to fly. Have you ever heard of the little red bird who had some thinking to do? Should she stay? Should she go? She just didn't know. I wonder, what would you do? All right. What a beautiful story. Did you all like that? Yeah, I think in the end, she stayed in the park. That's what I think. Look at the back of the book. The birdie and the little friend eating popcorn together. So cute. All right, well, thank you for listening, everybody. All right, so are you ready to make our little bird's nest? Okay, so do you have your supplies gathered? If you're just joining us, you're gonna need a paper plate and scissors and glue, a few crayons, and a couple of dried leaves or wood chips from outside, okay? Okay, step number 1. Take your paper plate and your scissors and just cut the plate right up the middle, okay? Just cut it in half. And make sure you have help using a scissor if you need help from a grown-up. All right, so you should have half a plate like that. Okay. Now, the next step is let's go ahead and take a brown crayon or colored pencil or marker, and let's just give our paper plate like a nice little brown coloring, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna glue stuff on it too, but let's just give it like a brown base coloring. All right, so you should have just a little brown coloring on your plate. By the way, if you guys see anything drop in my hair, I'm sitting under a mango tree and there's mango flowers that are just blossoming right above me. They're so beautiful, but they keep dropping on me. So that means pretty soon we'll have lots of mangoes. Okay, next step, you're gonna take your the other half of your paper plate and your scissors, and I want you to cut out 2 circles. They don't have to be too big. These are going to be little birds' eggs sitting in the nest, okay? So you can make them whatever size you want. And you can actually make more than 2 if you'd like. Maybe I'll do 3 eggs. Okay, so I have 3 little birds' eggs. See that? And my nest. Okay, so put the eggs aside, and now you're going to take the glue, and you want to spread some glue all over your bird's nest. Okay, so you don't want it to be too drippy, because then it will just never dry. So just take some glue and give yourself like a nice thin layer of glue. You could even just use your finger to spread it around all over the whole bird's nest. Okay? I don't know if you can see it, but I just spread glue all over the whole thing. And now you're going to take your dried leaves or whatever natural materials you found from outside, and you're just going to stick them right on your bird's nest. Okay? And you could crumple them up. Really just stick them on there. Have you ever seen a baby bird? I found a baby bird one time on the floor right beneath a tree. And, you know, a lot of us, if we see a little cute baby bird, it looks like it just needs our help and it doesn't know how to fly yet. We might want to take it and help it, but they say that the best thing you can do is look up in the trees around wherever you found it, and you might see a nest. If you see a nest, then that means it just fell out of the nest and the mama is going to come back and she's close by. So the best thing to do is to keep an eye on that baby bird, make sure that she's out of harm's way, but keep her close to the tree and just watch until the mama comes back. If you can't find a nest and no mama comes back for all day, then you can take it to a rescue shelter, an animal rescue. But it's always better to try to reunite the baby bird with his mama, right? Okay, so check it out. I don't want to hold it up too upwards because it's not dry yet. So you're gonna have to lay this flat so it can dry. But that's your little bird's nest. And now the last step is to attach the little eggs that you cut out. So put a little bit of glue on the back of each of the eggs, right? And then you're just gonna glue them or tape them to the back of the nest. So that way it looks like they're kind of peeking out from inside the nest, all right? So really, it might have been easier to actually put them on the back of the nest before we glued all this stuff down. So if you're just starting the project, there's a little tip for you. But look at how cute that is. You see it? Little bird's nest. This is a super easy project you can do at home, just using materials that you most likely already have. And I love bringing natural elements into the arts and crafts. You know, these are dried up leaves that we never would have thought twice about, and here we made them into part of our craft. Love it. All right, well, that is all for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Enjoy this lovely weather we're having, and I'll see you next time on Veggie Vero's Kids Corner. Bye, everyone.